Justice with Judge Mablean will be life because in everything we do, it involves the law.
Where's your witness?
In the evidence.
That's hearsay.
It's notarized.
I still say it's hearsay.
She's fair.
You got to help these young men learn how to do this the right way.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's firm.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, I don't
Okay.
need to say anything else.
She's honest.
I'm not your child and I'm not your friend. That's the order of the court. Goodbye.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean.
This is the matter of Emily Turk versus Elizabeth Blaison.
Yeah.
You're suing her for $8,240. The sum representing the balance owing on a car loan and a credit card debt that the two of you shared, according to you, plaintiff. Defendant says, I don't owe you anything because it was shared. So let's see what the judge has to say after you start and tell me what you have to say, Ms. Turk.
Sure. Yes, Liz and I were together for about 2 years. We were living together. And then when we broke up, I let her have the car.
Let her have the car?
Yes.
Okay, so you have to start with how did you get the car in the first place?
Sure. So while we were together, her car broke down and she needed a way to get her and her son around. And she didn't have enough credit, so I agreed that I would co-sign on a car, and I put down $3,000 because I didn't want to have that much on the loan.
So the down payment was $3,000. What was the total cost of the vehicle?
$8,000.
So you're not suing for the down payment?
No.
You're suing for the balance owed on that loan?
Correct.
Okay. And the balance owed on that loan is?
It's about $4,000. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, tell me when you purchased that vehicle.
About a year ago.
Now, you said you co-signed, so that means both of your names are on the contract.
Yes. Yeah, and then we broke up, and she needed the car, so I let her have the car, and now I'm still paying for the car.
balance owed?
And who's paying the car note?
That would be me.
That correct?
Yes.
All right, continue.
In addition to that, we had agreed from when she moved in that we have a credit card that's joint, that we would split it half and half.
Now, how did the credit card become joint?
So she moved in, and I had a credit card in my name, and I got another one for her because she had to pay.
No, you named her as an additional cardholder.
Yes.
Okay, and what was the agreement when you named her as an additional cardholder with respect to repayment of that card, that credit card debt? Because at that point, you had no idea how much would be charged, what it would be charged for, when it would be charged, etc. What was the agreement with respect to repaying the credit card debt?
Was that we would split it.
It would be split? Split how? The monthly payment or the total balance?
I believe it was the total balance.
No matter how high it got?
That was the agreement.
Yeah, but a part of the agreement.
I'm going to get to you. Trust me, I am. All right. So now you broke up, and what's going on with the credit card debt? And when you applied for the card and put her name on the card, what was the balance?
There was no balance on it.
All right. So you got a new credit card.
Yeah.
And both of you were named as the credit card holder. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And you're paying the loan on the car.
Correct.
How much is that note per month?
$174.
That's my insurance. That's how much it is for $174. The car's already paid off. She just put the $3,000 deposit down.
Now I'm going to turn to you then. You say the car is paid off?
Yeah, she basically paid everything off, but I'm paying the insurance right now.
Oh, so she basically paid everything off?
Yes.
When did it get paid off? Do you agree that it's paid off?
No, it's not paid off.
And you agree that you haven't paid anything?
I've been behind, but...
You agree that you haven't paid anything?
Yes.
Since you separated? Okay. So you say the balance is $3,800?
Correct.
Now, what about the credit card? Are we in agreement about what's owed on that? The $4,400, was that the balance as of the date the two of you separated?
Yes.
Yes.
And neither one of you has incurred any more debt on that credit card?
Correct.
Yes, not on my...
Okay. Now, who's paying the credit card debt?
I am.
And how much are you paying per month? Or how much have you paid?
I've paid half of it.
So the total debt is now $4,400.
Correct.
Do you have a statement from the credit card company as to that debt as of the date you separated? And give me the date of separation. I didn't hear that from anybody.
7/11/2025.
Okay. Agreed?
No, it was after that. 8/6/25.
Date of separation?
Yes.
We're going back and forth, but yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay. Now you agree it was 8/6 instead of 7/11?
Well, yeah, we're still in contact with, yeah.
Doesn't mean because you're separated does not mean you're not in contact with each other. It doesn't mean that you don't have conversation. It means that you're no longer living together because the testimony has been that you were living together.
Yes, we were.
And at some point, the two of you no longer live together.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
So you were getting all the IVF treatments.
Yes, I did around 2 rounds, but it didn't.
I didn't really want to do IVF. I knew she really wanted to.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Emily Turk, who is suing Elizabeth Blaison for an unpaid loan.
And now we're talking about the debts that you left, the joint debts, as a result of that union when you lived together. Are we all on the same page now?
Yes.
Okay, so what's that date you no longer live together? Is it 8/11, 7/11, 8/6, what?
8/6.
8/6.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Ooh. Now that we've gotten all of those facts straight, have you made any payments on either of these debts since the date of separation?
I haven't, just the insurance on the car. Again, I just don't feel like I owe anything because I also was doing IVF and paid that all full on my own. So.
Okay, you've brought up another subject. So the two of you entered into an agreement to have a child.
Yes, we did.
And to have the child by IVF.
Yes.
And you were the person who was to carry the child.
Yes, I was the person to carry the child.
So you were getting all the IVF treatments.
Yes, I did around 2 rounds, but it didn't.
And the 2 rounds of IVF treatment cost?
It cost about $2,700.
Total or
Yes.
each? Okay. Do you agree that she paid for IVF treatment?
She did, but I didn't really want to do IVF. I knew she really wanted to, and I told her that I would support her in that way.
Okay, so when you told her you'd support her, whether you liked it or not, that was an agreement to do it. I'll support you means it's an agreement to do it.
This is what I'm talking about, Your Honor. She's always 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Well,
It's just,
that's some people are wishy-washy like that, but that's your relationship.
Right.
So, but when you said, I don't really want it, but you can do it and I'll support you, you're saying it's okay to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't see what that has to do with this case because the $2,700 has been paid and that was during the time you were living together, right?
Right, but I'm just saying is we both had expenses on our end, and she's just trying to like come and retaliate against me and just have me pay this ridiculous amount of money when she knows that I'm unemployed.
Why do you call it retaliation when it's something that the two of you agreed upon? You shared the joint debt, credit card debt. You shared the joint debt for the car loan, and you're paying the insurance on the car because you're driving the car. So I give you credit for paying insurance on the car, but insurance is one thing. The car note is 2 separate things altogether.
Right, well, she was insisting for me to have this car and was like, I will pay for it, like, you don't need to worry about it. But now that we're not together, now she wants me to pay for that. Which I was like, I was okay Ubering it. I was okay not having a car, but she kept insisting for me to get the car.
Okay, so since she kept insisting for you to get the car, you didn't want the car, you were okay Ubering, give a car back to her. Right now, give it back to her. You won't have to worry about a debt. Give it back to her. You don't care about a car.
Yeah, but I believe that she's doing this just to make my life harder.
It doesn't matter why she's doing it. The question is there a debt owed that the two of you agreed to pay together? And is it being paid together? So all that underlying stuff I'm not going to get into. Yeah, it may be that. But over here, it's a debt. And It was an agreed upon debt that the two of you were to share. And you're saying, I don't want the car. I don't want to pay the debt. I don't want the car. Yeah, she was willing to do it when you were together. That's what happens when people break up.
Right.
This is nothing new. Husbands and wives do it all the time.
That's how I feel. So if she's trying to come at me with this debt, then I should come at her with the IVF debt that I had to put in.
Is it a debt or was it paid already?
Well, I paid it off already, but
Was
she's trying to
it
come-
paid off before or after separation?
It was paid off before separation.
So it's no longer before the court. What people do together when they're living together is fine and dandy. The court, I cannot get into paying back things that you did while living together and jointly agreed upon it. I can only get into things that are owing as of the date of separation.
Well, that's how it feels because
I can only get into things that were owing as of the date of separation. If the $2,700 wasn't owing then and she paid it off, that's fine. She didn't ask for the $3,000 down payment back that she paid when you all were living together. She didn't ask for that back.
No, but she's asking for me to pay.
She's asking for the balance.
On the credit card balance, but she got new rims with that. She got a new TV. She got
You
an
both
air
did
fryer.
it, and you can't separate what each of you paid, what each of you owes versus the other, and the credit card company could care less. Now, if the two of you want to sit down together and say, these are the debts I incurred, these are the debts you incurred, but you can't do that anyway because the credit card company wants the total debt, and they're not going to play the game of you owe it and you owe this and you owe that. And when you're unemployed and can't pay what you owed, what you charged on the credit card, they're not going to say, oh, well, since she's unemployed and can't pay it, you don't have to pay it either. Plus, you didn't charge that. That's not the way this works.
Well, the agreement was for only groceries and childcare, and she went ahead and added those expenses onto our credit card. That was not part of the agreement.
Was that the agreement?
That was not the
on
agreement.
a credit card?
On our
those were the
joint credit card.
limitations?
No, there's plenty of other things on here. There's department
TV's
store
like
shopping.
$900.
there's-
I can't hear both of you at the same time. So you allege that there was an agreement that only household items or necessities will be charged, food, clothing, shelter.
Yes.
Was that the agreement on a credit
No,
card?
that was not the agreement.
I'm sorry, when a credit card is obtained and two people sign up for the credit card, you're both responsible for the debt on the
Yeah.
card in total.
Yes.
No matter what is charged and no matter who charges it. The credit card company doesn't go back and say, well, Mary, you only charged this, so will you pay us $500? And Susie, you charge this, so will you pay the balance? They don't do that.
Yes.
It's owed. So I don't want to hear any more arguments about the credit card debt, who charged what, because that's the game that children play. I don't play that game.
Coming up,
No, I don't have time for that. You were two adults, you got a credit card to use, to pay, whatever, and you used it. And now there's a debt owed on it of $4,400.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Emily Turk, who is suing Elizabeth Blaison for an unpaid loan.
You know, that back and forth. Well, you did this, and you stole my marbles. Well, you stole my nickel. You know, I don't have time for that. You were two adults. You got a credit card to use, to pay, whatever, and you used it. And now there's a debt owed on it of $4,400. I am going to order that it be paid equally. Each of you pay $2,200. The question is in both of your names, and so if it's not paid, both of you will have credit that will be negatively impacted by the non-payment thereof. So decide who's going to pay it or who's not going to pay it. With respect to the car, there is $3,840 owed on the car loan, and you say you can't pay it, and you didn't really want it in the first place, so I'm going to resolve that easily. Take the car back, sell it, pay the balance on the car from the sale. Hopefully it'll get you the balance. If not, the two of you owes the difference. Give the car back. It's in both names, right?
Yes, it's underneath my name.
So now, are you serious about not wanting that car? Because I'm about to get rid of it. You better think about it. I'll give you a second to think about what you're saying. Because you're now sounding like a little kid as opposed to an adult.
You know, it has really helped me and my son, but I would rather give it back to her because she just always messages me and always finds an excuse to, you know, get together and talk about these finances. So I just want it to end.
Okay, what about the credit card debt?
Well, I know
Since you just want it to end, are you ready to pay $2,200?
I am, but we had an agreement that I will be helping her monthly. But right now, I lost my job.
And you're not paying it, and the credit card company doesn't care about your agreement. She's having to pay it.
Coming up,
So are you willing to pay the $2,200?
Well, yes, eventually, but you know, I lost my
Eventually
job
will never
because
work.
of her.
Because you're talking eventually, and she's paying.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Emily Turk, who is suing Elizabeth Blaison for an unpaid loan.
So are you willing to pay the $2,200? You're not paying $174. You're not saying I'll pay that. You're using I'm unemployed.
Well, yes, eventually, but you know, I lost my
Eventually will
job
never
because
work.
of her. So
Eventually will never work, because you're talking eventually, and she's paying. So that's the order of the court. You're going to return the car to the plaintiff. Defendant return the car to the plaintiff. Plaintiff, you can sell the car, use the proceeds therefrom to pay the car loan balance, whatever is a deficit. Let Ms. Blaison know the difference. Give her copies of all the documents for what is paid for it. If there is a deficit owed and you cannot pay off the credit card, the $2,200 to apply toward her on the credit card debt, then you'll owe half of the balance. Okay? Say, for instance, you pay you sell the car, you only get $3,200. There is still another $620 owed. So that's between the two of you.
Okay.
$4,400 is for the credit card. There's $2,200 owed. So you each will split the difference in the debt.
But it was, sorry if I may, it was originally $8,800 and I paid half of that.
You didn't show me any proof of paying $8,800 since separation.
Yeah.
It was $8,800 at separation.
$8,800 was the total, and I paid half of that.
On the credit card?
Well, I didn't pay half of that. I'm looking to get back half of that. I offered originally to pay half of it because that was our agreement. So
I asked
half
you
of it.
what was owed on the credit card debt at separation. You told me $4,400.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
That was what I was looking. That's what I'm trying to.
You told me $4,400 was owed at separation. I'm not going to give you back everything you paid when you were living together.
No, it wasn't. Well, it was.
Well, it's too late now because I asked you what was owed on the credit card. We've been here for the longest trying to separate these two debts. Now you want to start over again and tell me that it was $8,000 owed?
That was the original amount. Yes.
What do you mean by original amount?
That is how much is owed
When?
currently.
You didn't tell me that.
Apologies. I was confused.
Where's the document that shows that?
I don't have any more.
Then I'm going to $4,400, what you said. Because I don't, this has been confusing and not my fault. When you come to court, you need to come with your evidence. You need to come prepared to document whatever your concerns are, and whatever you present to me, that's what I accept. I have heard nothing about $8,000 owed. $4,400 is what the brief said that was owed on that debt, and that's what I'm going to stick with at this point. You understand?
Yep.
That's the judgment of the court.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled the defendant has been ordered to return the car to the plaintiff, and the plaintiff has been ordered to sell it.
I can't pay this. I don't understand why you're putting me through this.
She's putting it through it because you owe her. It's not her fault that you're not in a position to pay.
What about when-
No. That's why.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.